Okay, thank you so much, viewers. I'm Daniel Garang, and today I'm joined by activist Patrick Godi, and I will give him time to also introduce him and speak to us about the Tumaini initiative that is ongoing right here in Nairobi. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you, Garang, for inviting me this morning to join you on the show. My name, as you have said, is Patrick Godi, and I'm a youth delegate to the Tumaini initiative. But also back home in the country, I stand on behalf of young people in the Revitalize Joint Monitoring and Evaluation Commission, which is RJMEC.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you for giving us your time to talk to us. Briefly, we understand that the talk have actually progressed well. Maybe you can update us on how the talks are going.
So, yes, I want to again emphasize that over the last 1 week, we have seen progress in the negotiations, which is something which is different from the last round in December, where the parties reached a stalemate, which led to adjournment of the discussions until this year. What we have seen so far is that the government was able to make a presentation of its position, something it was not able to do in December. I think that was a positive thing for the opposition to accept and allow the government to make that presentation. And I feel it has opened the opportunities to bring in goodwill to the process. We now see that even the agreement on the agenda was concluded actually over the weekend, last week. So the parties, including the stakeholders, have now agreed on the agenda which will guide further discussions. Among the issues that has been agreed on the agenda is the issue of the name of the opposition groups and so on. You recall that on the 9th of January, they transformed themselves into a new entity, and there has been concerns from the government seeking clarity on that identity. So that has been put into the agenda. Also agreed is the relationship between the Tumaini and the RRCs in Juba, and also the implementation mechanism, structures, and repetition. And lastly, on the agenda is the responsibility sharing, which has mostly not been an issue of contention, but rather a sequencing, because you cannot have responsibility negotiations at this point before you even agree on the content of the agreement, including its implementation mechanisms.
Sure. Yeah, and we've seen this Tumaini discussion also talking long, and South Sudanese are really wondering why is it going this long, and what is exactly the problem?
Well, like any other political process, many times you cannot really define the course it will take. Initially, the Tumaini initiative was planned to take 6 weeks. That is from the 2nd of May 2024 to the early part of June 2024. But as you see, we are still in the negotiations. There has been a lot of differences among the parties on the objective of the initiative and also the expectations, what they want to get out from the process here. And these are included back and forth discussions, but also it's important to note at some point there was an adjournment of over 3 or 4 months, actually after the signing of the protocols in July. The discussions only resumed in late November 2024. So I think the complexity of reasoning and thinking on whether you have the revitalized agreement in Juba as the main framework, or do you develop a completely new agreement that will replace whatever is in the country. And I think this has been the two sticking positions by the government and the opposition that has made it a bit difficult to find a quick breakthrough.
Much as South Sudanese are also talking about the issues to do with inclusivity and expressing their concerns, the young people of South Sudan knows that you are here representing them in the peace talks, and they would want to know how best are you ensuring that their voices and their concerns are considered in these talks?
For me, as a youth representative, I have approached it from the point of appreciating the progress that has been achieved in the country in respect to youth inclusion and participation. And within the RRC's framework, there are a number of youth-friendly provisions, including let us have one agreement that will be implementable and lead us towards elections in the time that will be agreed, whether it is the 2026, which is already extended by the government, or as it was proposed by the Tumaini protocols, that we have a 3 years transitional period, which means it will end in 2027.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is to say that they're coming in for another 3 good years.
Well, already I think 1 year has passed, because that proposal was made in 2024 and we're already in 2025. Unless it is renewed that from the date of signing it will be 3 years, then that will take us maybe to 2028. But we haven't yet had that discussion of the timeline of the transition. What we are basically doing right now is to first of all agree on defining the relationship. I think that holds the key to the progress, including the conclusion of the talks.
Thank you so much for giving us the time. Unless there's anything that you want to pass to the South Sudanese, given the frustration that is ongoing with the delays and all that.
Yes, I totally understand the frustration from our people back home in South Sudan. I think they are right to feel that way, but I also want to encourage them to seize the moment to actively participate in this process through, of course, the media, and you're doing a good job of broadcasting live from Nairobi here, conveying, disseminating information of events as they happen here. They should be able to provide their input through the platforms already established. I think that is what will make a difference. That is what will pressure the parties to seriously consider the interests of the citizens over their own individual or collective interests, and come to a successful conclusion of the process within the shortest time possible. So our people should continue to keep the engagement through the community radio, and also where possible provide their input through the many platforms that have been created for public participation in the Tumaini talks.
Thank you so much for giving us the time, sir.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.